Toxic relationship. Yes, that's what we are going to discuss today. You just have to turn your head and you will see lots and lots and lots of toxic relationships already existing. You never know, you have already been into one, right? And you have come out of it, but then when I talk out of it, you will realize that, oh my god, you were actually in a toxic relationship and you didn't even realize it. Because these relationships are the most addictive ones in nature, and we feel we are so much addicted to this individual, we feel we are so much addicted to this person because we are so much in love, etc, etc, etc. Now let's understand how this thing functions. Now first, if we all know this, our brain has formed its own subjective definition, a subjective picture of how to live happily. We all basically more or less function according to that. Now where does the brain pick it up from? It essentially picks it up from our early childhood days, from the way we were treated as children. So that is the reason it's very important, if children are treated with toxicity in childhood, they carry this as an adult, and they carry this particular thing as a reflection into their relationship as well. So if children are treated with toxicity, they bring toxicity into their relationships when they grow up. So what essentially is toxicity? What I mean, so we all individuals are conditioned. Let's not get into the rights and wrongs of brain conditioning, which we all are victims to, but we are all conditioned by reinforcements. And reinforcements are two kinds. One is fixed and one is variable in nature. Now, fixed reinforcements are those typical rules, regulations, discipline that function in family, wherein things are said, done perfectly, well charted, well written, well ruled and regulated accordingly. Now, these children know for sure that if I do this, I'm going to get this. If I don't do this, I'm not going to get this. There is this clarity. Now comes the variable reinforcement family, or the variable reinforcement people, individuals. These people are completely not structured. Like they just go haywire the other day, and one time they can go overboard in expressing their emotions. So they are very irrational when it comes to even showering a lot of love, and they are very irrational when it comes to just showing a lot of hurtful emotions and sentiments towards children. Now these children have formed this particular personality, and when they grow up, they actually start getting this gambler's instinct. So what is a gambler's instinct? So of course, now we need not generalize it, but there are a lot of people who are basically coming from this kind of a instinct. So what is a gambler's instinct? Gambler's instinct is when you just enjoy the reward that you're going to get after you do after you put in your money, or after you just play something. So you have put something at stake. So these are the people who have really put in their emotions also at stake. So not that they are very happy when they are doing it, but they are getting a very different kick when they are doing this. So these are the people in relationships. What they do is they invest their emotions, and their investment is what they're putting at stake is their emotions, sometimes with which comes their time and money as well. And when they do that, they feel that because they have put in all these things, they actually have the right to hurt the other person. And how do they do this? How do they carry out the hurting process? They just get emotionally distant all of a sudden, because they are in one place. They were those individuals who would shower great love, who would go out of the way, making the other person feel so important, and out of the blue, out of nothing, they will just vanish. They just abscond. They go emotionally distant. And and they simply love the psychological and the emotional attention that has been given by their partners, and this is their reward. Now this is when they win all that they have invested, and they operate on this psychology continuously they operate on this psychology. But imagine, sometime if that thing is lost, they lose out on a relationship. They literally lose out on a relationship, because not everybody is going to take that toxicity, and not everybody is going to take this thing as a as holding on to something that's going to hurt the other person. So they conveniently hurt the other person, thinking that it is their right, because they have given something, they can hurt. Now this is where, when you get this kind of a reward back, in the form of emotional and psychological attention, which is the lust. In emotional and psychological lust, they are not essentially looking at sexual lust all the time, but this is the lust they are really looking at. And this gives them a dopamine rush. This gives them a dopamine effect. Dopamine effect is this happy drug syndrome, a happy drug effect, wherein they feel really, really happy when they get that, and they are really waiting. That's a reward that they're waiting for. Now, these are now their partners, or maybe these other people also. They also have become, they become compulsive addicts, compulsive gamblers at one point. So what happens at times, these are people who are also banking on uncertainties. So uncertainties, as I said, that sometimes these people themselves who don't win, or who are not sure of what they are going to do, but they have formed this habit of playing games. They form this habit of the gambler's instinct in every relationship. So they kind of keep doing this, and when they lose, they are also, there is also a kick that they get they, it's an adrenaline rush. So this is a stimulant. This particular is a chemical which is a stimulant, which acts as a stimulant, and which also gives them this anxiety and this rush that, okay, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. So if you remember, if you're going to watch cricket match and there's this last over and there are few balls and there are a lot of runs to be made, and like the kind of anxiety and the kind of feeling that you have, exactly that kind of a thing. They don't know, I mean, they're like, okay, well, let me just win, let us just win. But they can lose as well, but they are prepared. So this also gives them a very good feeling. They just kind of, they love getting this feeling on and off. So that's a risk that they're taking. That's the uncertainty on which they are banking on. And this adrenaline rush or the dopamine rush, whatever they get, it is addictive. Both are addictive. So if they get the dopamine rush, it is like having straight whiskey on the rocks. But if they have this adrenaline rush, it's like having beer one after the other and waiting for that kick to take place. But basically both of it, which is addictive, highly, highly addictive. And that's how this entire toxic relationship becomes addictive in nature. Now let me tell you, all those people who are playing this gambler's instinct, or all those people who are involved in this, it becomes a big, it comes as a big setback for them when they realize, when at one point they realize that they are really exhausted, they are tired of playing this, and they are looking at they're looking at a stability in life. They're looking at something to settle down with, because initially they would feel really bored to have that fixed variable kind of a thing in relationship, that okay, if you do this you get this, if you don't do this you don't. So that is how, generally marriages function, that okay, we need to do this, both of them have to do this. So these are the people who are often failures in marriages also. They don't have permanent relationships, they have lots of relationships, ups and downs, and you will not find these people stable in relationships usually because of this particular instinct of theirs. And yes, they have a problem and they really have to settle down towards the later stage of in their lives. So not a good thing to do though, but this is where toxicity comes from. So it's very important that these people get into a therapy, they get into understanding that where is this coming from, where is this basic instinct coming from, and they need to work on it because they need peace as well. I hope you've liked the video. Please put in your comments, please put in your questions, and please, if any one of you is undergoing this toxic relationship issue, and if you need to connect to me on my personal ID or my personal, I'll put it my number and my ID both in the description box. Please feel free to get in touch with me. Thank you so much, guys. Please subscribe, please like, and do share the video if you liked it. Thank you.